Some people don't insult you directly. They do something quieter. They talk to you like you're beneath them, like you don't understand, like they're the smartest person in the room. And even if you stay calm externally, something about it stays with you afterward. Because condescending people don't just create frustration, they create self-doubt. Condescending people rarely sound openly aggressive. That's what makes them difficult to deal with. The tone stays controlled. The words stay professional. But underneath it, there's subtle superiority, a quiet attempt to lower your confidence socially. And emotionally aware professionals notice this immediately, even if nobody else in the room seems to. A dismissive tone, an exaggerated explanation, a sarcastic smile, a response that feels less like communication and more like positioning. And afterward, you replay it in your head. Not because you're weak, because your nervous system recognized disrespect hidden inside professionalism. Marcus Aurelius wrote often about ego, about how insecure people constantly seek superiority over others, and condescending behavior is usually less about intelligence and more about emotional insecurity. Because emotionally secure people do not need to make others feel smaller. That's important to remember, especially in workplace environments, especially around status-driven personalities, especially around people who subtly compete for control in conversations. Because emotionally exhausted professionals often react to condescension in one of two ways. They either emotionally shut down or over-defend themselves. Both reactions give the interaction emotional power. Stoicism teaches a third option: calm observation without emotional surrender. Because condescending people often want one thing most: an emotional reaction. Frustration, defensiveness, self-doubt, anything that confirms emotional control. But emotionally disciplined people begin noticing something important. Condescending behavior loses power when you stop emotionally shrinking around it. That changes the entire interaction. You stop rushing to prove yourself. You stop over-explaining your intelligence. You stop emotionally chasing validation from people committed to misunderstanding you. And one subtle Stoic habit becomes incredibly powerful here: responding slowly. Not passive. Not weak. Slow. Because condescending people often create emotional pressure through conversational speed and tone. They want you reacting emotionally before thinking clearly. But calm pauses disrupt that dynamic completely. Especially in meetings, especially during workplace tension, especially when someone is subtly trying to dominate socially. And something interesting happens when you stay emotionally steady around condescending people. They often become uncomfortable. Because emotional superiority depends heavily on emotional imbalance. The calmer you remain, the more obvious their behavior becomes to everyone else. That's real quiet power. Not humiliating them. Not winning publicly. Staying internally grounded while they reveal themselves. And Stoicism teaches something emotionally exhausted people desperately need to hear. You do not need to emotionally prove your worth to people committed to feeling superior. That battle never ends. Because emotionally insecure people constantly move the goalpost. So instead of emotionally fighting for approval, Stoics focus on clarity, behavior, character, not ego contests. And the moment you stop emotionally reacting to condescending behavior, you stop carrying it home with you mentally. That's freedom. So the next time someone talks down to you, pause before shrinking internally. Pause before defending yourself emotionally. And remember, people who constantly need to feel superior are usually fighting something inside themselves, not you. If you're tired of workplace tension, passive-aggressive people, and emotionally draining conversations, subscribe. This channel is for emotionally exhausted professionals learning how to stay calm, clear, and emotionally steady around difficult people.